All right, let's get down to money now. No federal budget. During the first meeting of his new cabinet this week, Prime Minister Carney announced he is pushing ahead with his promised tax cut for middle-income Canadians, and his government would not be tabling a budget during the upcoming session of Parliament opening later this month. Finance Minister Francois Philippe Champagne says there will be a financial update later this year.
As you've seen this morning, we've been listening to Canadians, and we've been delivering for Canadians. The first order of business of the first cabinet of the new government under Prime Minister Carney was to offer to a middle-class tax cut, a very significant step that will benefit 22 million Canadians across the nation, that will provide a family with two income up to $840 of benefits. This is very significant, and it sends a very strong and clear message to Canadians that we care, that we understand that one of the first concerns they have is about affordability. And we want to send a message that, yeah, there's a lot of things going on, but we'll be there for them. So that was the first order of business of this government.
We were very disappointed yesterday to hear that he has no budget planned for this year. This makes it the longest period without a budget since the 60s. The first time there has not been a budget outside of COVID in over 20 years. Extremely unusual. It'll send a bad signal to investors and ratings agencies, and a lot of people will wonder what the Liberal government is hiding about our finances. And so we're here with solutions. I'm proposing offering the Prime Minister to sit down with him and propose conservative solutions that we hope that he will steal. I want him to steal our best ideas. That includes cutting the bureaucracy, consultants, foreign aid, and other wasteful spending to bring down deficits, inflation, and taxes. We want a real income tax cut that rewards hard work, axes the federal sales tax on new homes to promote more building and lower costs, and stand up against American tariffs with lower taxes on Canadian investment and by repealing all of the anti-energy policies like C-69, C-48, the energy cap, the electric vehicle mandate, and unleashing our resources so that we can become the richest country in the world. Now, these are ideas that Conservatives are putting forward, but I'm happy to bring them right to the Prime Minister's desk and invite him to steal them and put them right in his platform. And if he does, then we will help get those passed before Canada Day.
In Carney's platform, he plans to add another $225 billion to the debt over the next 4 years. I mean, folks, the banker is supposed to be better with the numbers than the drama teacher, but Carney is planning on adding almost $100 billion of more debt than even what Trudeau was planning to do. Okay, think about it this way. Interest payments on the debt alone are blowing a $1 billion hole in the budget every single week. Okay, welcome to Canada, folks, where every single dollar you pay in federal sales taxes goes to pay interest charges on the debt. So Canadians have every reason to be worried about the state of our national finances. And with this decision, the Carney government is essentially just shrugging it off. Oh, don't worry, folks. Well, here's the thing. Taxpayers deserve a budget. Taxpayers deserve to know the true state of our national finances, and taxpayers deserve the ability to hold the government spending plans accountable. But that's pretty hard when the government isn't even going to present a budget.
And our question for this segment is, should the Carney government table a budget in the upcoming session of Parliament? Well, Eddie, some swift reaction from Poilievre and, of course, the Canadian Taxpayers Federation.
I don't know what to say, Gary. I think I'll leave it to you to start with the commentary, and I'll kind of kick in. The only thing I can see right off the bat in terms of Poilievre's first 20 seconds is exactly what Monel said. He lost his bloody writing. I think he should just slither away. That first 20 seconds, that's what I felt like.
He's trying to appear more friendly and the smile, it looks more like a smirk, and it doesn't look natural at all.
He looked like a Fox anchor. That sneer. I don't like that.
Yeah.
It didn't do it. He looked like a Fox anchor.
Well, who knows? That could be in his future. They may come up and recruit him at some point once the Tories get fed up with him and give him the heave-ho. Anyway, the budget, there's, what do you think? There are two schools of thought, but at this stage of the game, I don't have an issue with not having a budget. Like, if you recall, the budget in the final Trudeau year, we were promised a fall economic statement, which didn't arrive until almost mid-December. And then that's when Chrystia Freeland pulled the plug and refused to table it and resigned and started everything in motion. We're in month 2 now of the new fiscal year for the federal government. And Steve McKinnon was on Power Play yesterday, and he was saying, look, we have a number of things to do, and there's still, a lot of uncertainty as far as how the trade war is going to end up. So, there will be an opportunity for Parliament to debate and examine. They'll be bringing, I think they're called supply bills through to, allocate money to keep government going throughout the balance of the fiscal year. And they are, as you heard Champagne say in the clip in the first segment, they are planning on a fall economic statement. So between getting, an insight as to what's happening with the supply bills, and then getting the fall economic statement, which will still give us a much better idea. If it comes like maybe October, sometime in October, no later than the 1st of November, then that's still like, fiscal year ends March 31st. So you have a better idea of where we're headed. It also gives the government some flexibility in case all hell breaks loose with Trump and tariffs and the trade war again. Although he's variable. Yeah, it is. I mean, he's been backpedaling big time because they're really starting to hurt down there, and he's starting to get the blowback from his MAGA core. But that's now. But tomorrow morning, he could get up and just say, okay, we're back at it. All bets are off. These deals that you're proposing, not good enough. You know what he's like. So right. You can't count on anything. The only thing you can count on is getting through the next 3 years and 8 months or whatever it is now. Trying to get through that and keep your head above water, and then hope that he's gone and doesn't make the attempt to run another term, pull some kind of fast move, and also hope that J.D. Vance does not become president. So I get where they're coming from, and just the way everything unfolded with the way Trudeau waited until the new year and put us into a very vulnerable position. And I get it. And I'm willing on this issue to give them a bit of leeway this year and this year only. But, come March, they better have a budget to table, and they better be able to defend that budget, because Carney's platform he's talking about spending a huge chunk of change.
He didn't hide that.
He didn't hide it.
Not from anyone.
And his sales pitch was, this is going to be key investments in infrastructure that we need and will need going forward. We're going to future-proof the country. And, I get it, because we have been absolutely not only just ignoring the military, but we've ignored a whole lot of other federal responsibilities as well to pour money into these grandiose schemes and, pushing a lot of money offshore to various countries for
God knows what.
Yeah, I mean, some of the programs that this money was aimed at, like, really, seriously, and we have people lining up at food banks and living in cardboard boxes and tents under, highway overpasses, and you're shipping money off. Like, I'm sorry, and I really don't care if I offend anyone on this, but charity begins at home. If we can't look after our own people and provide them with some kind of decent housing, provide them with the ability to get healthy, decent meals, how in the hell can we run around and stand on stage and sign off checks for, this many millions of dollars and for whatever the little, like, really? We have people with mental health issues. Nobody, has tackled the mental health issue with any, real push. Like, the housing, it just goes on and on. And yet, again, and as Carney drove home, and now even Poilievre's picking up on it more and more, this country has the potential to be the richest country in the world with the resources that we have at our fingertips and the way we could, strike deals for these resources. And we haven't done anything. We've done dick all with them, to put it bluntly.
Yeah. But you know what? Government critics aside, okay, let's just look at, whether it was Poilievre in charge or Singh or Prime Minister Carney today, okay? In order to fix wrongs in the past, and the Liberals have perpetuated a lot of wrongs, especially in the last 10 years. And prior to that, during the Harper government run, a lot of wrong had been done there. So regardless of who is the Prime Minister today, in order to fix wrongs, whether you're in a government or whether you're running a corporation, fixing wrongs costs money. Okay? We want to improve the health care. We need to address our homelessness here in Canada. We have to address our health issues, the health issues from our military personnel who have come home and are struggling. Enhancing our defense requirements of our own sovereignty, our own country. All of this is going to cost money. And you know as well as I do, as soon as Carney spends any money in any one of those elements I just mentioned, amongst the other dozens other sides that he has to fix, there is going to be critique. We're going to expect that no matter what. But whether the Conservative Party was in power, the NDP, the Green Party, even the Rhinoceros Party of Canada, I don't care who, in order to fix a problem, more often than not, you have to throw some initial money at it. Okay? So I'm with you, Gary. I don't have a problem with him not tabling a budget immediately. There are just too many variables to deal with. Okay, that's number one. Number two, there are a lot of issues that have to be fixed. Before tabling a budget, you have to have the opportunity to do your homework for his ministers and his secretaries to do their homework to correctly identify what budget requirements are necessary moving the country forward, not 6 months, but a budget that can typically provide immediate value with long-term benefits. You're not going to come up with that during a 1-month election campaign. You're not going to come up with that being in power for a mere 2 months. It's just not going to happen. You wouldn't do that as a CEO in a company. Why would you expect that in government? Give the administration time to completely and clearly understand what needs to get done. They have an idea of the target areas they need to focus on. All right, now it's the minister's jobs to find out exactly what needs to be done. Then you can table a budget. Yes, he's going to provide a statement. I have no doubt about that, preferably sooner than later, in latest October, like you were saying. But give the man a chance to build his government the way it's supposed to be built, and not just run roughshod to satisfy the likes of Poilievre or anybody else. Right?
Well,
that's what I'm thinking.
The other side of it is that Parliament resumes around the end of the month. And so, then they'll probably rise sometime mid-June, late June, I would think, and probably come back. He may bring it back like late September, sometime in October, probably sometime between late September and maybe the middle of October.
Maybe not. I mean, you and I were speculating. There's just too much to do. There's no
well, there is, but there will also be some things that in his platform, Carney wanted to get done right away, and one of the first things is, of course, the tax cut for middle-income Canadians, and so there will be a couple of things like that where they're going to have to go into Parliament. Now, the other side of it is, though, by then you get your fall economic statement, because you're already well into the budget year, right? April, May, June, July, August, that's 5 months. You come back in September, that's 6 months. Like, the year's half over, so what's the point of delivering a budget for half a year? Do the fall economic statement, show where it's going, and build on that fall economic statement and deliver your budget for the next fiscal year, early March, mid-March at the latest. Don't let it go almost to the end of March. And then you're back on track. Because, as I said earlier, like this year, in the beginning of this year and the ending of last year, well, most of the year because of the U.S. campaign as well, has been just nothing but a constant state of turmoil. And Manel says, you're absolutely right, Gary. How could he possibly do anything when south of us is the most unstable, unpredictable, idiotic human being who is running the show down there? That's all part of it. So Carney gets in, and his cabinet ministers get on top of their files, and they get a feeling, at least for the next week, where the U.S. president is going, or what they can expect down the road. And then they can better figure, okay, how are we going to respond to this? And how does that response help Canadians deal financially on their own, and business and small business, large and small businesses? How do we ease the burden of what we're experiencing thanks to what's happening south of the border? So, you're right. It all has... A good CEO is going to come in and say, okay, let's get a handle on what's happening. Let's find, get into the books, the whole shooting match. And then once we understand exactly what we're dealing with as far as what's happening within the organization and how, we're watching what's happening outside the organization and how we're going to then set our goals and, the key performance indicators. So I think
based on real information, not just
Yeah.
guessing.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have a problem with it. I know that there will be some who will say, oh, you liberal supporter, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? I've been called a card-carrying member of every party that's ever come along, so it doesn't bother me calling you. Doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
So, that's, at least I see an individual, and, there's all kinds of crap on social media about where he's really going to go and all of this stuff. And just stop. But just before we end this segment and get into hockey, I just want to say something about the tax cut.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not overly impressed. If you notice, the $800 and some that will be realized is for a double income family. So that means an individual who doesn't have a partner to fall back on, who may be working as well to help shore things up, will only get about $400. What's really right now, especially right now, what's $400? With the way, and Loblaws has been issued a warning this week that a lot of things coming in from the U.S. will be, could be up to triple in price. And of course, Loblaws have been known to be among the most expensive as far as the grocery chains are concerned.
Yeah.
But this time next month, we could walk into the grocery store to pick up a few odds and ends, and we're going to, if I walk in as a single person, I'm probably going to blow half or better of that $400 so-called assistance.
In one shopping weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you kind of say, okay, fine. The effort was there. It's not a lot of money. It's really not going to make a lot of difference. But from a political perspective, right, is doing nothing better than doing just a little. That might not go a long way. I really don't know what the right or wrong of this is, Gary. At this particular point in time, I get it. I mean, look, Loblaws are saying the prices are going up. Walmart actually came out regarding the American business and Canadian business. Consumers, you are going to get a price increase because of these tariffs. So even the low cost super chains are coming out and saying it's going to cost more. So obviously they're not willing to absorb the increase in tariff costs and whatnot. And it's going to be passed down to the consumer, which is us. I mean, at this particular point in time, Gary, you know what? You're right. In one or two shopping weekends, whatever you're getting as a tax break, which you get at the end of the year, not today or tomorrow when I need the money, it's gone. So I will take the position of it's better than nothing at this point in time. Whether the Liberal government is going to get any brownie points on this, I don't know. You can expect Pierre Poilievre to criticize that it's not much money when people are doing blah 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 blah. I mean, that's what we're going to expect. So I'll just err on the side of better a little bit than nothing at all.
Yeah. Well, exactly. But maybe, just maybe, Wayne Long can be the charging force. Let's overhaul the tax system. Why not just go with a flat tax rate? Get it over with. Everybody pays the same rate. Boom. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to spend, whatever it costs for software or taking your income tax into somebody to do it. I don't know, where do they get the people to dream up these tax forms and all of the little ins and outs in it? You either have an expense or you don't. But what's all of this other stuff that goes in between? And I get it. It makes no freaking sense. It's just, anyway. All right, I'll stop now because actually I was lucky enough to get a tax refund. So
Oh, there we
you
go.
should shut up. I don't want to get audited.
They're listening.
Yeah, exactly.